Hey guys, good morning, everybody. Today is Friday, January 26th. Happy Friday, everyone. It is 6:22 right now. Market's in the open in about 8 minutes. So I'm going to go ahead and set up this room real quick, and we'll get started shortly with our analysis for today. Just got a couple of things here to update, and we should be good to go. All right, looks good. One last thing here. And it looks like we are good to go. Let me get this link sent out to you guys here in the premium. One last place. And it looks like we are good to go. All right, so as people join in, I'm going to start marking up liquidity over here. Liquidity up top, go to that blue, down below. Down to the 8-hour. Eight-hour down to the 4-hour. Down to the 2-hour. Down to the 1-hour. Down to the 30-minute. Call this red. Down to the 15. Down to the 10. And it looks like we're good to go. All right, guys, good morning, everybody. Today's Friday, January 26th. It is 6:25 right now. Market's gonna open in about 5 minutes. I've marked up liquidity over here. I'm gonna go back down to the 1 minute time frame. So as you guys can see here, we have liquidity down below over here at 38,126, and we have liquidity above at 38,225. So we got liquidity down here. And we have liquidity up here. And it looks like we are good to go. All right, so other than that, looks like we are ready to go here. Let me see if there's anything else here that I'm missing. Looking over here at our clean chart, let's go and mark up 6:30 real quick. 8 o'clock. go up to the 4 hour real quick, see if there's structure up here. Same structure from yesterday, hasn't really changed. Same structure from yesterday below as well. So we have pretty much the same 4 hour support resistance from yesterday. Not much has changed. Looking over here on the 1 hour, there's a closer structure right here. And that's pretty much where price is rejecting from. So looking at this here, we currently have, I'm kind of confused. Let me see what structure is that right there. All right, it's the 1 hour structure. So we have the 1 hour resistance level up here. And we have the 4 hour support level right here. All right, so we have that pretty much marked up. Market is ready to open in about 2 minutes, guys. I think there was news this morning at 5:30. Yeah, there was news at 5:30 right here and more news at 7 o'clock. So we had news over here at 5:30. Which is right at the sessions. And then we have news at 7 o'clock, just right there. 5:30. And 7 o'clock. All right, so looks like we are good to go, guys. Market is going to open pretty shortly. See what's here so far. Let's see, Daniel said, yeah, morning, Daniel. Maddie's asking, no, so for the mentorship, guys, just a little reminder for the mentorship, there's not really an extra fee. So the 750 that is like kind of announced was for people who don't have access to the indicators. So if you've never had access to the indicators, we want you to be active for at least 3 months, right? Because that's how long the mentorship is. So you don't have to pay for anything. If you're already a member and you've been a member for like more than 3 months, and that's completely fine. You can just stick to whatever plan you're currently on. The requirement of 3 months is just for people who haven't had the indicators or haven't had the strategies for 3 months, because we don't want to mentor somebody and then you give up after a month and it's kind of like wasting our time having to mentor you for free. So it's just an advance if you haven't already been a member. So just a heads up, I'll give some details on that next week, guys. Next week I'll be giving out the acceptance or decline letters, emails to you guys. Today's the last day for the mentorship application. So if you guys want to sign up for the mentorship, make sure that you sign up by today, because I'm going to close the application and I'll be sending out the welcome emails next week. And by the end of next week, I think on Sunday, let me check the calendar real quick. So the end of next week on February 4th, we'll be having orientation, and then the mentorship will start on February 5th. And it'll go from February 5th up until November. So just a heads up, guys. Anyways, market is now open. Let me go and just color this blue. All right, so market is open. Here is opening price right here. Reach for our clean chart. All right, guys, so we currently have price pushing up. It's getting close to the sessions up here. There's no structure yet, so we're just gonna wait for structure to produce. Once we have that V1 pattern, we can start looking for possible entry. But right now, there's nothing to take, so we'll just continue following price until we get to that point. Let's see. Nick said his Ninja Trader is going in and out this morning. He's been on since 5:30. I haven't had any issues with mine, so I'm not sure if anybody else is having issues with their Ninja Trader, but hey, mine seems fine. I can't even tell if it's going in and out. How do you know if it's going in and out, Nick? Because it doesn't make any noise like MT4 or anything like that. So I mean, it looks fine to me for the most part. Not sure if the data is different or I don't know. All right, let's see. All right, guys, so market is open. We're just looking for some entries here. There's no news until 7 o'clock, so we have some time until then. We had some high impact news pre-market. There was core PCE price index, pretty much inflation news, and personal spending. Mixed news, we had negative and positive, so there's not really much of a direction. And for now, we're just going to keep looking to see where price will go. Rashida said she took the buy side liquidity and it went straight to her full TP right there. If you guys take liquidity up here, I marked this up pre-market. So if you guys were on here early enough, you guys would have had liquidity marked up there. Rashida took it, hit her full TP. Nice work on that. Pretty much all levels here got hit, depending on which one you wanted to take. All 4 levels of liquidity right here hit full TP. So it depends on which one you decided to take. If you took any of them, they all hit TP. So there goes a liquidity sweep right there, straight to full TP. And let's see, Nick said he tried with his MTMO, but it wouldn't enter for some reason. I thought you were talking about Ninja Trader, Nick. You said your Ninja Trader is going in and out. I don't even know how to see if the Ninja Trader is going in and out. I don't. You might have been you might have been talking about MT4, not Ninja Trader. Oh, that's weird that it didn't let you enter. But yeah, I was asking about your Ninja Trader because you said it was going in and out. I was trying to understand like how do you know that it's going in and out? Because it doesn't make any noise. It looks fine to me. So I just want to know. So if I enter a trade, I want to make sure that my Ninja Trader isn't. Gotcha. Okay. So Nick said it makes a noise for him when it signs in. Gotcha. Yeah, mine's fine. So thankfully, good to know. Thanks for letting me know. So in the future, I know like if it's making weird noises, I'll just avoid taking entry. All right, guys. So price is coming back and forth over here. We have structure marked up. So price pretty much pushed up to the 4 hour resistance right here. It rejected directly off it. So this right here is the 4 hour resistance level. So you guys can see here, price came up, rejected directly off the 4 hour resistance. Now it came back down, rejected off the 1 hour resistance, and now it's just going back and forth. So price is currently ranging between the 4 hour and 1 hour resistance levels here on our clean chart. It's pretty clear back and forth right here. So again, we're just gonna wait. Market open down here, pushed up to this area. Now it's just ranging within this area here. So we'll just see if we can find anything. There's nothing here just yet, but we'll continue to look. Let's see. Daniel said the momentum pullback scalp just hit. So there was a level right here, guys. I'm not sure if anybody took it. It was right next to the session, so I probably would have avoided it. But if anybody took it right there, it looks like it came down, failed the order, went straight to the TP, blasted right through. So if you guys took that momentum pullback scalp, full TP right there, level would have been right here for entry. And it like literally blasted right through. This thing's climbing pretty high today. Maddie said it looks like it's going for the all-time high. Yeah, it looks like it. Here, let's see. Yeah, all-time high is pretty close. Here, I'll mark up a line right there. Let's color that red so that we can see where the all-time high is at. See, retail sentiment is currently 77% short. This indicates that 77% of retail traders are currently buying right now. So obviously, you typically want to do the opposite and buy. That's where price is currently going. Looking over here at the fundamentals are currently up 37 points right there. And it looks like that's that for now. All right. You don't really have anything here right now. There's no V1 patterns up here, so it's fine. We just gotta wait. There might be a V1 pattern right here. So it looks like the price pushes up from right here with a green candle. There will be a V1 pattern. I'm hoping there's a sell signal, because if there's a sell signal, we can possibly catch a breakout V3 continuation to the upside. So I would like that sell signal to come up right there. I'm not sure if it'll come up, but would have been nice. Yeah, thanks, sir. And Sharon said also, he said, be careful because it's the last Friday of the month. So guys, as you guys know, the first Monday, last Friday of the month are typically risky because, that's when contracts typically close for the month. So that's a good thing to look out for. Thanks for reminding us. So just keep that in mind, guys. Mondays and Fridays are typically always risky to begin with. But the first and the last Fridays are typically risky too because of the options market. A lot of contracts expire at the end of the month or open at the beginning of the month. So freaking, I'm so annoyed with my cough. This cough's been lingering for like the past 3 months now. I think it'll probably go away soon because we're supposed to have a heat wave here next week in California. So hopefully by then my voice will be back to normal. But yeah, guys, so just be careful today. I mean, there's a lot of reasons to be careful today, just because for the most part, it's Friday. Second, it's the last Friday of the month. I'm not sure if any options contracts are closing. A lot of things are connected to YM. So when things are happening in other spaces or sectors, it's going to affect YM because YM is like the nucleus of that pretty much holds all of these other assets. So just keep that in mind. Yeah, exactly, Maddie. I hate the cold too. Gary's asking, where can I find the application for the mentorship? It's on the Discord, Gary. So if you go to the Discord, the application for the mentorship is, I'll post it right here again. Right there in the announcements channel or announcements tab. You can fill it out right there. And then here, I'll just put it in the YouTube chat too, in case anybody's interested. I'll just put it in there, Gary, so that you can grab it. And I'll put it in the Zoom too. So today's the last day to fill out the application for the mentorship, guys, if you guys are interested. Again, the mentorship is going to be a 3-month mentorship. Basically, I'm going to be looking over your shoulders. It's going to be pretty much a one-on-one in a group setting. And hopefully by the end of those 3 months, you guys will be disciplined and consistent, able to follow your trading plan. So put it there. Today's the last day. It's going to close by midnight tonight, California time. And then by next week, I'll be sending out the welcome emails for you guys who got accepted. If you guys don't get accepted, it's fine. You will be pushed into the next cycle. Hopefully I'll have a next cycle. I think I'll like this program because I'm pretty sure we're going to have a lot of people who become successful from this, because I'm actually going to be following you every single day for, basically 3 months straight. So it's going to be hard for you to really screw this up unless you really don't follow directions. Like if I literally tell you every day, like you got to do this, do that, and you guys follow those directions, you guys should be perfectly fine because it's just going to build a routine in your thought process with trading. Like for example, here, right, there was a bunch of trades that came up and I didn't take any trades here. Like for example, we had all of liquidity up here. I didn't take any of the liquidity because there's a lot of sessions up here. So I mean, liquidity was fine. It did hit TP, but this is an area full of sessions and manipulation. So I wouldn't have taken it. And I have the discipline to not take trades when I know it's going to be risky. So, I'm going to try to get you guys to that level where you're not taking a bunch of random trades anymore. And you're able to focus on, one or two like good trades every single day. All right, let's see. Maddie said a V1 off structure would be nice, but there's a sessions right there. Yeah, exactly, Maddie. So what I would like to see, so it would be cool if we had a V1 that came down right here, Maddie. Say that first candle rejects off it, and then you get a double body like somewhere up here, right? Kind of like what happened right here. So I like price to come down and wick off it and then create a double body somewhere around there. That'd be a V1 pattern that we can look for. Unfortunately, there's no buy entries that we can take here yet because there's no pending signal. There's a V1 pattern here. I was hoping that sell signal would have closed because if it did, we would have had a buy signal here. And then we could have taken this as a breakout V3, right? That would have been the entry that we would have looked for. Unfortunately, that's not the case. So you just got to wait. Which is fine. I mean, this is just a repeat process of what's been happening all week. If you guys have been following these live sessions this week, this is how the market has been. You can see that price is kind of in a range right here, right? You can't really see it too well, but if you go to our clean chart, you can see that price is pretty much ranging between the 4-hour resistance and the 1-hour resistance. This is the common pattern that's been playing out pretty much every day this week. So it's not really a surprise that this is happening here, right? Which is fine. So here we go. As price starts to climb up higher, this red line over here is going to be the all-time high. So it looks like, I mean, possibly the all-time high might get hit again today, but we'll see. Again, we're not going to force any trades here. We're going to wait for something quality, which just hasn't came up yet. Exactly. Yeah, Rashida said we need a sell signal to take it up. That's pretty much all we need because we still have that V1 pattern right here. As long as we don't get a low that establishes, then or that comes up in between, then we should be fine with the follow-up. So we need that retracement. The reason why we need the sell signal is because that sell signal is going to confirm retracement, right? You can kind of see over here whenever price pushes up, retracement, continuation, right? We need that retracement because if we don't have that, then we're kind of trading on thin ice because we won't be sure when price actually comes back down, right? We have another V1 pattern right here, guys, double wick rejection. So you guys can see we have a pretty clear range right here between and this is within the 4-hour resistance. So if you look over here to the clean chart, it's still 4-hour resistance. The same thing. It's pretty much 1-hour resistance, 4-hour resistance. It's just on a tighter scale because we're on the 1 minute here. Yeah, Andrew said wicks everywhere. You guys can see on every candle here, there's a bunch of wicks because there's a lot of uncertainty with regard to where price is likely to go. It's hard to tell because when you trade at the higher highs, it's really tricky because price has never been around that area. So there's no data telling you or kind of hinting to you, okay, this is where price is likely to drop, right? You really don't know. So just be careful. As usual, you just gotta be as cautious as vigilant as possible when analyzing these charts because it's going to be really easy for you to end up on the wrong side of the market or the right side. It's kind of like a coin toss at that point. So I'm kind of hoping it drops down further, comes back to here, provide a V1 rejection off this point, and push back up. That would be solid because we have a double bottom here within the range. That'd be like ideal, right? Odds of this happening, probably not likely. What we can have here is we can have a retracement with the sell signal, possible retracement, another V1 pattern down here, close to it, not exactly there, but close to it. and then correction back up. Right. There's a lot of different scenarios here that can play out. And you kind of want to, what you want to do is you want to narrow it down. You don't want to have like 5 different scenarios. Like, okay, we can have a V1 where price comes down, or we can have a price like kind of reject off this point and then come right back up, right? You want to not narrow it down to like two or three scenarios so that you have at least a really good probability of your trade hitting. You know, the more confluences, the better, of course. Right here, we have a low. So if this is the case where this low gets established, then this here is no longer going to be valid for us. And then we'll start looking off this low here, which is probably going to be consolidation because it's going to be within this close area right here. I mean, realistically, we want the sell signal. The sell signal is going to be the most important thing at the moment. Until we get that sell signal, there's not really going to be much for us to work with because we're not going to be able to take a buy back to the upside until we have that set up there. Let's see. Nick said he might just chalk it off with his profits for the week if it gets too wacky. Yeah, no, it's probably a good idea, Nick, especially with your platform kind of being all over the place. All right, so we have another V1 pattern here setting up, guys. Double body rejection as long as this candle closes green. You'll see that the consolidation is a lot closer. This is kind of what I was showing you guys earlier. You know, like if this here kind of disappears, it's just going to be a tighter consolidation within this area. So, you know, if that's the case, then price may climb back up further to the all-time high. The ATR is pretty decent right now. It's currently 22, so the volatility is up. Again, this candle has to close green in order for us to have a double body V1 pattern right there. Looks like it's going to. All right, so it's closed right there. Now we just need to get a buy signal. We need a buy signal followed by a green candle. If we can get that, if it wants to consolidate around this area, that's fine. We can probably just let it consolidate, let it come back down for a V1 variation. So let me just mark up a couple of different scenarios here now. So a couple of things here that you can look for would be, well, this is really tight right here because if it drops any lower, it's going to create a new low. So if it drops any lower, it's going to pretty much create a new low. This is going to be invalidated. We're not going to use this level anymore. But okay, we'll see what happens here first. Let's see if it drops any lower. Because if it doesn't, and there you go, it dropped lower. So that level there is pretty much invalidated, can't be used. So this one here is still valid. That's why I didn't take it off yet. We might get that first pattern that I mentioned to you guys. So we might still get price to come down here, reject off this point, and climb from there, right? We can still get that. But I mean, realistically, price is pretty much just within the range. So there's no V1 pattern here anymore, unfortunately. I'm hoping price drops lower because it's not really going to be of use to us if, you know, if there's no V1 pattern here. All right, so we have a green candle here, no V1 pattern. We have news coming up at 7 o'clock. News at 7 is going to be medium impact. It's pending sales, pending home sales month over month and year over year. And we'll see. All right, so price is pretty much just sitting around this area. Again, I want it to drop lower so that we can get that V1 pattern. So I want this to continue dropping lower for the retracement. And we'll see where it goes from there. Let me get a sweater real quick, guys. Right back. Hold on a second. All right, so we had price drop down lower, which is what we were looking for. I want us to drop down even lower now because we still don't have a V1 pattern. So I need this to keep dropping a little bit lower. It'd be nice if it rejects off one of the pivots, right? Pivot 3 right there, the orange pivot. So drop down a little lower, reject off this point, and come back up. There's no V1 pattern, so it's kind of useless for us right now. There's nothing for us to really focus on or look at. I mean, all the liquidity here got hit already, so this is pretty much done with. The next level of liquidity is going to be up here at the all-time high. So it's pretty up there. Here we go with price coming back to the 1 hour resistance. So as you guys can see, I already drew this up earlier from our clean chart. And price is pretty much just ranging between the two structures. So we'll see if price rejects off this 1 hour resistance and then pushes back up. If that's the case, then that's fine. We can maybe start looking for something here. There's no double body or double wick, so unfortunately, this isn't going to be a setup for us to look for the reversal. Again, I want price to drop a little bit lower. It's rejecting off the orange pivot right here. This is one of those engulfing setups that I showed you, Maddie. It was actually right here too. So there's a bunch of them that came up, Maddie. Price came down, came up, engulfing, went up. It's another engulfing right here if this closes big. I mean, I wouldn't take it, but just an example there from what we were talking about. So it doesn't look like this is going to be engulfing. All right, we want it to drop lower, a little lower, because we need that low to be a double wick or a double bottom for that V1 pattern. So I want this here to drop a bit lower, a bigger red candle, come down, reject off, like say the structure, any structure here, really. There's a lot of structure here that can play out. So we can get the rejection off the V1. I mean, this would be ideal. If we get a big spike down and a spike back up, we'll get a huge wick right here that will reject pretty much off pivots 3 and 4, sessions, and the 1 hour resistance. And there we go, as price pushes back up. Unfortunately, we don't have a setup here for the V1, so it's kind of pointless for us. It would have been nice though. If we had an engulfing, that would have been even nicer. So if we had like a V1 pattern, like this right here is a perfect pattern of a V1, right? It's a V1 pattern plus it's engulfing. If we had something like that right here, that'd be super ideal. We also have news coming up in about 5 minutes, so I'm probably just going to sit out. I think, well, hopefully news here will push price in one direction or the other. Yeah, it's kind of a tough position right here, like where it's currently at. If price drops lower, we're going to have an area here to trade in. It's not going to be a tight spot, though. Let me measure it to see how much space we have here to trade. We have about 500 pips, so it's not super small, but it's also not super big. So we have some space here if price decides to shift to a downwards trend. It's not going to be a lot of space, but we'll make it work. But again, we're just going to wait. It's got to be patient with it. Looking over here at the technicals, we currently have a bullish trend across the board here. So you can see the 1 minute, 5 minute, 10 minute, all bullish, 30 minute, 1 hour, 4 hour, all bullish as well. So we have a very strong bullish bias right now, currently at the moment. Looking over here at the fundamentals are currently, they're actually flat right now. So we don't really have a bullish confirmation right now across the board. So the fundamentals are actually pretty flat. Retail sentiment over here is still pretty heavy. I mean, it's been bullish for like the past 3 months, so it's not like this year has changed very much. It's been like this since November, October, November, 77% short. So this is, I mean, obviously we're going to be looking for buys, but retail sentiment's not going to make a huge difference because it's been bullish for the past 3 months. Nothing's really changed. It's been above like 65% since. All right, so we don't have anything here yet. Yeah, and you said we're less than 100 from the all-time high too. It's a very tricky area, like you said. Yeah, this whole area here is tricky. You know, there's a lot of fake outs that'll happen because There's people who are betting for price to go up to the all-time high. There's people betting for price to go down, right? For retracement. So you don't want to get caught in that mess. You just want to wait for that perfect entry. Once you have the perfect entry, you'll take it. If you take random entries around this area, odds of you getting caught in a fake out are very likely. So just stick to your game plan, right? Like I mentioned, that's the whole point of the mentorship, guys. It's to get you guys to stick to your trading plan. My trading plan here is to take V1 variations and break out V3 continuations with my confluence. And those are the only entries that I'm looking to take myself personally, right? You guys can take any entries that you'd like. If you guys want to take liquidity, you're free to take liquidity, but you have to understand that there's a risk involved with taking these other trades because for me, I know that the safest entries right now and the easiest entries to follow are V1 variations and breakout V3 continuations. So that's what I'm sticking to. The way that I trade is I try to follow the low hanging fruit, right? I try to take trades that are almost like 100% chance of hitting versus taking something risky. Especially when you're trading with Apex, you can't really have super risky trades because there's not enough risk for you to allocate to all of those trades really. So just keep that in mind. All right, we have a new low here. Looks like the price is consolidating even tighter. The ATR dropped a lot. So the ATR earlier was at 22, it's now at 18. It's still pretty decent though. It's not like below 15, so it's workable. Like we can still work with it. We have news over here in about 2 minutes. There's no V1 patterns anywhere. See, this would have been nice if this was a double body. Or I mean, sorry, if these were both V1s. If we had two V1s right here rejecting off this would be nice because then price would push up. But we do have news right here, so not going to bother with it. All right, so since we have a new high right here, guys, this is no longer valid. And since we have a new low right here, this is no longer valid either. So we don't have structure there anymore. Well, we have structure, but we don't have the V1s that we're looking for. So I'll just leave them up for here right now just to see how price moves when news comes out. But these two structures here for V1s are no longer valid. There's new high lows here. We got news in about 10 seconds. Kind of curious to see how this plays through. Nice. Worry market. This whole week's been this way. Nick said these are not the droids we're looking for. Exactly. All right, so we got news right there. It's not really pushing too much. Let's check news real quick. So the news is still pending. So month over month was positive. It's actually really high. I'm really surprised that the pending home sales are super high for December. This isn't normal, right? This isn't traditional real estate pricing or real estate data. Typically, like the cold months are usually slower because people don't like to move in the winter, right? It's too cold, it's raining, it's snowing, etc. But it was positive. So it looks like year over year positive. Well, year over year, I expected that because of COVID. So this went up. It was like 5.2% last year, and then they were forecasting to be a little less. It's actually a lot better than expected, 1.3. So the news here was positive. And I'm glad that price is doing the opposite here. So price is actually doing the opposite. Yeah, price is doing the opposite right there so that we can get a correction back up. So I want us to drop a little lower, actually. It hasn't really dropped very much. Preferably, I'd like it to drop a little bit lower. I mean, there's not really much going on. So you guys can see over here that like price is pretty much just going back and forth. It's just consolidating within this tighter area right here. Let me clean this up because these structures are no longer valid for us. Going over here to our clean chart, you can see that price is pretty much just bouncing around the 1 hour resistance level. If this establishes as, the new bottom, we'll just change this to support. But right at the moment, I'll just leave it as resistance for now. Yeah, exactly. Van Harwig said snake pattern. That's really what it is, going back and forth. It's a little snake body. All right, so we'll see what happens here. I'm just looking for that V1 pattern. Once I get that V1 pattern, I can start looking for, the correction. See if it comes down and rejects off this point here. Okay, so we have a V1 pattern right here. There we go. So we do have a V1 pattern. As long as it closes green, this candle has to close green, which it does right there. And let's just hope it doesn't push lower. If it pushes lower, it's just going to establish another low. But if it doesn't, we can make this climb up and hopefully get a buy signal and climb it up from there. But just as I said that, it looks like price might be coming back down. We'll see. This could be a double wick, double body, which I'm also fine with. This here lines up with the 1 hour resistance. So looking back over here, you can see price is rejecting off this point. So we can probably change this to a support level now because it looks like it might be establishing it as a support. Yeah, C6 said they're listening. Exactly right. So we'll see how this candle here closes. I'm hoping it doesn't drop any lower. If it drops any lower, then this low is going to be invalidated. And there we go. So they are listening, Sisu. They invalidated our low right there. The low there is no longer useful, unfortunately. It's rejecting off the sessions right there. And again, we're just waiting. Again, it's a waiting game. You guys can see here that the pivots are starting to shift. So if we have a shift back to the downside, that's completely fine. I'm okay with that. If that becomes the case, then we'll start looking for sells. But right now, we're still looking for buys. You guys saw that our V1 variation pattern right there just got invalidated. There's no more V1 pattern here, unfortunately. So now we got to wait. Again, we just got to wait for that pattern to come up. Once the pattern comes out, we can look for the reversal and then we can look for the continuation. All right, Daniel's like, who's the mole? C6 said we need to start speaking in code or the opposite to manipulate them. Right? Man, it's crazy. It's like literally what we're like, I'm like predicting what's going to happen. And I'm telling you guys, I'm hoping this doesn't happen. And it literally happens. And it just invalidates the entire entry. Like we had so many opportunities here, like a V1 pattern right here. We had the sell signal that was pending. It didn't end up closing and it pushed all the way up. If we had that sell signal right here, we would have had a nice entry right here. You guys already know that, right? Because we would have the sell signal down here, V1 pattern. One of these would have been a buy signal, and then we would have continued the ride to the upside. Unfortunately, we didn't get that. And now we're waiting for price to do it again here. You guys can see how many high lows are within this area right here. This is not a good area to trade in. So I'm kind of glad that the setup didn't come up because you guys can see right here, this is not a good area to be stuck in because it's just consolidating back and forth. Whenever you have a bunch of high lows in one area, that's an area to avoid because it's just it's a very clear consolidation, right? You typically don't see it this clear. Like for example, over here, you'll see a bunch of high lows, a couple of them, like maybe 3 or 4, but over here, it's like 6 high lows all in one area, which is kind of crazy, right? To see that, you don't really see that very often. You'll see high lows here where they're like 3 or 4, but this right here is like a flat line. It's like price is just literally going sideways. So here we go. As price drops back lower, we might have price come back down to open. There's our next target price point, which is completely fine. The only thing here is that we have the sessions. So what I want to see here is I want to see price come down a little bit, retrace up, provide a V1 pattern. So maybe something like this, price comes down, comes back up, gives us a V1 from the top end, reversal pattern. We get a double top right there. And we can take that for a sell, right? That's scenario 1. Scenario 2 is we have this, plus we get a breakout V3 continuation, right? We have an entry right here, and then we get another breakout V3 continuation down here, back to open. Right, double setup. So this is kind of what I'm looking for here. I don't want the V1 to come up here because there's a sessions right there. You guys can see the red line. That's the London high. It just becomes a bit of a mess when you trade within that area there. But we'll see. Van Harwick said Sean is roaring kitty too. Yeah, that movie was good. I don't know if you guys have seen it. What's it called? Dumb Money. Yeah, there's a movie called Dumb Money out on Netflix. It's not really too much about trading. I mean, it's about the Bitcoin and not really the Bitcoin. It's about like I forgot what that group is called, Wall Street Bets. It was about that group. I was hoping that that movie would be more about trading, but it was more about just like speculation. Yeah, it was a GameStop, Wall Street Bets. Because from the previews, it seemed like it'd be actual trading video where they were like actually trading, but they were kind of just speculating, which I mean is fine too. But that's an interesting movie. If you guys want to watch a trading movie, that's kind of like fun and interesting. All right, so we have a buy signal right here, but there's no V1 pattern. So unfortunately, there's not going to be any entry for us to take here. This would have been ideal if we had the V1 down here that we had earlier. So we had a V1 over here, we had a V1 over here, we had like three V1s. Unfortunately, none of them closed. So again, we're kind of just here waiting for some sort of pattern to come up for reversal. So I'm sticking to my game plan, guys. If the V1 variation, if the breakout V3 continuation comes up right here, so we have a buy signal. If this next candle closes green, this will be a breakout V3 continuation. I'm not going to take the trade, but if it does come up, I'll mark it up for you guys because it's going to align with the correction from news earlier. However, price has already corrected up, so it's not really going to be much of a correction. We would have wanted price to drop down lower and then come back for correction to the news price, but the market volatility has kind of been like this all week. So ATR is currently at 18. This is, I mean, the volatility is decent, but it's not that great when price is going sideways. It'd be fine if it was 18 and price was climbing up higher. That would be ideal, but don't necessarily have that here. So again, if you guys want to take this as a breakout V3 continuation, I'll mark it up for you guys. It has to close green. It's not looking like it's going to, but it might close green at the last second. So it didn't close green, no entry there, which again is fine. We're just in this waiting game here. So guys, here's a clean chart. You guys can't really see this clearly here, but on the clean chart, you guys can see that price is in a very clear range, right? There's no denying that price is in a range right here. It's been ranging up and forth, back and forth between the 4-hour resistance level and the 1-hour support. And there we go, price comes back down. See, so this right here would have been nice if we had the V1 pattern here, because we'd have a double V1 right here, right? Double rejection for a double bottom, but we just never got that. So this is the setup that we were looking for. We're looking for a V1 pattern, price comes up, another V1 pattern right here, and shoot right back up from there. Or a V1 pattern anywhere, really. It could be from any of these areas, but we just never got that. So since the setup didn't come up, there's no entry. You know, we're not going to force any trades here, of course, but you guys can see that price is in a pretty clear range at the moment. Let's see, question from Kevin. Kevin said, are all those highs setting up liquidity? Yeah, it could. So this would be the one minute liquidity, Kevin. So this is how we used to apply liquidity back then. So back then we would mark up liquidity on the 1 minute time frame. So let me just show you real quick. Actually, you're right. It would set up liquidity because the trend was super bullish, right? The overall trend was super bullish. So what happened here is like what Kevin just mentioned. He was asking, hey, is this setting up liquidity right here? Which it was. This is how we used to trade liquidity. A long time ago, when I first introduced liquidity to you guys, we would look for liquidity levels to be bunched up like this right here, right? This would be a level of liquidity. Target price point would be this upper level right here. So when price finally came back up, it pretty much triggered liquidity right there. And then it blasted right through, trying to reach the next level up there. So if you guys want to, The only time I mark up liquidity on the 1 minute, like how we used to, is only if the overall trend is all in one direction, right? If you have the overall bias, it's all bullish, you can mark up liquidity from the top side. And that's pretty much how you could mark up liquidity on the 1 minute time frame. But you'd look for liquidity to be bunched up. So you don't really care if it's spread out like this, but when it's bunched up like this, that would be an ideal area to enter liquidity if that's something that you like to trade. We used to trade that a lot. It worked a lot very well during like high volatility time. If you guys remember when COVID just ended and when it started, we still apply liquidity all the time because it was so easy, right? You'll see price come down super heavily, and then you have all liquidity marked up right there, like within the levels. There's just a bunch of liquidity just sitting right there. And then when price came back up, we would just ride that all the way back up. It's just, we're in a different type of market. So that's why I don't really use it as much. It still works, but I don't use it as much because the volatility is too low, right? Like the volatility right now is at like 16. When we used to trade back then, volatility was like at 20, 30. So it was super easy. Like whenever price would come up and knock out liquidity, we just spike straight through. But it's just a different type of market. You know, we adapt with the market conditions and we trade them however we need to for that specific period. But if you guys want to trade the original liquidity, I think the original liquidity is still available on the course. Let's see. So let's pull up the course real quick. Here, I'm just going to search it. It's probably easier. I don't even know if I made a video for it. I know we created one like there was a video that used to be available for liquidity. Um, but I named it something different because I didn't want people to know about it. Uh, I forgot what it was called, but if you guys look in the Telegram, you could probably find it. Yeah, there was a liquidity video. I just don't remember what we called it. We called it something else. Here, let me check the Telegram real quick. It was an old video. Like it was like from 2023 or 2022. The video is still good. Um, you guys can see all the liquidity trades that we have here. So if you guys look at the Telegram and you look up liquidity, we made so much profit off liquidity like in 2023 and 2022. You guys can see all of the wins here. Like literally, we won so many trades with liquidity. And you guys can see my markup right here. So this is exactly what we used to do. We used to mark liquidity right here on the 1 minute time frame. Whenever we'd have some sort of like long-term trend, we would just follow it and then price would just go straight through. So if you guys can find that old video, that video has I mean, you can probably find it in one of these mentoring sessions. So if you go to the Telegram and you look up liquidity, just look up whenever I had a mentoring session around that time, like back in 2022. We used to make a lot of profit off this strategy. So the strategy still works fine. It's just I don't really use it very much because it's I would consider it risky in my opinion. It'd be considered risky. So yeah, if you go back to my older videos in 2022, we made a lot of money off that strategy. Um, and then when I started to lose, I just didn't like it. I don't like losing, that's why. So if you guys will see like the strategies that I typically use when I trade is I use strategies with very high win rates, like where I barely ever lose. I can't handle, well, it's not that I can't handle losing, but I don't like to lose. So whenever a strategy that I created in the past, if it doesn't work as well as it used to, like it still works, but it doesn't work as well where I have like a, 80 to 90% win rate, then I just stop using it. It still works, but I just don't use it because I prefer to not work on that and just switch to something that we already have that is working at the time. So, I mean, all the strategies work perfectly fine. It's just some of them have a lower win rate than others. Whatever I'm doing here in the live session has like almost close to, it's going to have at least like a 90% win rate. So I don't like losing trades or just losing in general. I was just never taught to lose. I've always been competitive in everything I do. So I'm always going for the high win rates, going for the high consistency, high discipline, etc. Uh, let's see. Yeah, NM said liquidity push in 2023, 29 trades, 97% win rate. Nice. Yeah, so I think that's the last year was like the last time we really applied the liquidity push. I guess it wasn't that long ago, it was last year. Feels like a long time ago. But yeah, thanks NM. So NM has the data on the strategies that we applied. We took 29 liquidity push trades in 2023, had a 97% win rate. So I think it's still pretty good. It's just I think it was also just a lot of work for me to mark up liquidity all the time. That's good to know. Thanks, Adam, for the data there. Let's see what else we got here. Let's see. Camo said random. It's wild how Michael Burry shorted US30 back in October last year. US30 been mainly bullish. Yeah, that guy's an interesting character. If you guys have done any research on Michael Burry, he's really interesting. He's like he goes off a lot of speculation, Camo. So yeah, he's been like Camo said that he's been shorting US30 since like October of last year, and it's just been super bullish. So he's getting pretty much destroyed. He was basically predicting that the market was going to crash. He was right in his first prediction because he knew something that people didn't, right? He knew that the housing market was going to crash before anybody knew. So he kind of had a head start. This time he said he had something too, but I don't know. It's kind of hard to see that, especially with how US30 or YMs are moving. Because if you go from the weekly chart, you look back from like 2022, it's been bullish ever since. So I mean, the crash might happen eventually, but it's not really going to affect us too much because we're scalping. So whether the market crashes or the market goes up, there's still going to be opportunity for us to trade. We just have to wait for our opportunities to come up. So that's good. That's the thing that I like about scalping too, is that you don't really have to be in tune with fundamentals. You just need to see what the market's showing at that very time. Yeah, Oscar said, didn't he short the housing market like 2 years ago before the it actually crashed? Yeah, that's what he's known for. He's known for that because he figured out that like the home loans were going to crash and stuff, like everyone's going to default. And he took a huge bet. But if you guys watch that movie, I think the movie's called The Big Short, right? I forget what the movie's called, but if you guys want to watch that movie, it's actually really interesting. It's called The Big Short. Let me just look it up. Big Short movie. It was on Netflix for a long time. Yeah. So if you guys want to watch that movie that we're talking about, it's called The Big Short. It's like it's real life. It's based on Michael Burry. He basically called the market crash like years ago. Um, he has another big bet for you for YM again. So this guy again, he took the huge bet for a sell, and then again right now he has another huge bet for a sell for YM that he put in October. So he's basically forecasting the market to crash within the next year. Um, but I don't know. I don't know how that will like really happen, especially if Trump becomes president, then I think the market will just keep booming higher. C6 said he's hoping Trump becomes president. Yeah, I think if Trump becomes president, the market will keep going up. I think it might have an initial crash, like not a crash, it might have an initial drop, but I think it'll continue climbing up higher. So guys, just back to the charts here. There's nothing for us to take. There's a low right here, but there's no V1 pattern. So unfortunately, we won't be able to take this as a breakout V3 continuation. Again, if you guys want to take the trade, I'll mark it up for you guys. We have a buy signal here that's currently pending. So if it closes and it's followed by a green candle, then this will be a breakout V3 continuation. If not, then we kind of just got to sit tight and wait. But yeah, it's just a matter of time. Here, let's see. So NM said liquidity push in 2023 were May, 10 trades, all wins, June, 12 trades, all wins, July 2, 2 trades, all wins, August 5th, all wins. Yeah, so that strategy, the liquidity push works well when the market volatility is high, which is typically like early in the year. Like right now from January up until like say early summer. And that's kind of why it died down a little bit. And you can see we had a lot of trades in May, June, July was kind of slowed down a bit, and then August slowed down a bit as well. Let's see, David said closed again this week with profits. Stick to your discipline, 2, 3 trades a day, and you're the best. Yeah, definitely. David, I'm glad to see that you locked in some good profit this week. And you're wrapping it up. So let's see, we got some team profits over here. We have Maddie with a total profit of 150 per account. So Maddie over here has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. We're just going to say he has about like, oh yeah, thanks Maddie for the number. So Maddie made a total profit of 3,600 for the day. Took just one trade, small profit. He just partially exited and then he took his trade there. He took a triple confluence that came up earlier. So the trade Maddie took was down here. This broken close passed the structure for that buy signal to get it as a triple confluence pushed up. And that's what he took right there for his entry. So nice work, Maddie, with catching that there. And then we also have David here with a total profit of 54.31 for the day. Nice work, David. Great way to close out your week with profit. Yeah, you did good, Maddie. Maddie said he's done for the day. He's up 26,800 for the week. So great profit there, Maddie, across all of his accounts on Apex. So again, guys, that's like another thing that I'm just telling you, like if you guys can have like a bunch of Apex accounts like Maddie here, like they just add up, right? Maddie has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. He has 14 accounts. So like, if he gets a full TP on one of them, which would be like 500 times 14, that's 7,000 for the day. So it's pretty good, Maddie. Glad to see that Maddie's up 26,800 for the week. So great work right there, Maddie. Yeah, Maddie's gonna call it a day. So Maddie's done for the day. I'm still on here looking for my entry to come up. I think it's gonna come up eventually, but it's been the same situation all week. So if you guys have been trading with me all week, we've kind of been just waiting for this entry to come up. It comes up, it just takes a long time for it to actually come up because of the market conditions. Looking back over here on the clean chart, you can see that price is pretty much still ranging between the 4-hour resistance level and the 1-hour support. It's just doing the same thing over and over again. It's in a huge range right here, and it's not really doing anything. Unfortunately, this range would have been nice if we had some V1 patterns, but there's not even any V1 patterns that are coming up. So, even though we do have some movement here, it's not really going anywhere. So this is a clean markup of the chart. And you guys can see we just have two structures here, 4-hour resistance and 1-hour support. And it just keeps going back and forth between these two levels. There's no setups here, so we can't even trade within the range. Typically, the V1 variations would be good within the range here, but there's no V1 patterns that are setting up. They're just, and here we go, we're getting close to the all-time high. So we'll see if it actually hits the all-time high today while we're on the live session. If not, price might come back down again, tumble back down to the 1-hour support, and then come right back up. Same old, same old. Kenny said, I got my first taste of losing with a liquidity trade. Yeah, exactly, Kenny. It's tough, right? It hurts. That's why I stopped playing that strategy. The liquidity is a good strategy, but it requires a lot. Like it requires a lot of focus because you have to like really get in at the right price point. If you get in too early, you can get caught in the whipsaw spike. And I think that's what I didn't like about the liquidity. It was one of those strategies that kind of stressed you out, like a little too much, right? It's same with the breakout. The breakout and liquidity, they're great strategies, but they'll stress you out like crazy. Like I remember back during COVID times, people would say like, you don't need coffee in the morning. You just need to take the breakout with Sean because that'll get your heart rate super up. Because if you guys remember taking the breakout, like they would whipsaw sometimes. Price would fill your trade. It would go really high to your TP. And if you got greedy and didn't pull out early like I did, price would come right back down, right? And then it would come right back up and it would come right back down. And then everybody's super stressed out because they're like, when do I pull out? And I was like, you're supposed to pull out when I pull out. And people wouldn't follow that because they would get greedy. It's crazy. You'd see the breakout happen. Like say, for example, this is a breakout right here, right? you see it get super close to TP, like no drawdown, like right here. And I'm like, I'm closing out here because the market's moving super crazy. People are like, okay, they hold on to it, it comes back down. And then it comes back up, and it comes back down, and it comes back up. Eventually, it finally hits TP. But at that point, you're super stressed out. You're like, damn, should have just pulled out when I was like so close to my profit target. Same with liquidity. Like you'll take liquidity sometimes. Like for example, this entry right here in the morning, some people would just hold on to it. Like you're supposed to pull out of it and only take one level, but people would hold on to it. Sometimes they'll get lucky and get like a big push. Sometimes the price will just spike back down. And that's just typically, that's just what we were used to. All right, we have another V1 pattern right here, guys, finally. But the trend here is bullish, so I'm not really looking to take this V1 pattern here. I would be fine for it to come back down lower and then provide something down here. But again, this is going to be, one of those things. Just gotta wait. Camo said, I hate this week. When I see trades that are risky winning back to back, it annoys me. Yeah, no, same here. There's a lot of trades that are coming up. They're just risky. And I agree with you too, Camo. I'm definitely with you on that. All right, so we have the V1 pattern right here. Let's see if price comes back down. It's just rejecting off the 4-hour resistance. You can see over here on the clean chart, it's just up here again. Might come back down into the range. So there's two things that'll happen here. Price will either push up, get to the all-time high, or it's going to pull back into the range. It's a worse scenario to trade in. You don't want to trade when there's like a high chance of it going either way. You can see here that price is probably trying to lure in some more buyers. So it's luring in buyers and sellers because you can see this point right here. If you think about the psychological aspect of this, you already know that a lot of people know that this is the all-time high, right? So what happens here is people will try to, they'll take their positions right here, right? People are either going to bet on price going up to the all-time high, or they're going to bet on price to come down from here, right? So what's happening here is price is just churning. It's going back and forth. It's going to go back and forth to churn some more traders within this area. And then once the market makers are ready, spike, right? Spike up or spike down. You don't want to take a trade like this because you're just gambling at that point. There's no strategy to it. You're kind of just hoping that price will go in your direction. That's why I don't really trade these types of patterns. Yeah, Kevin said quadruple wick. You guys can see the wicks right here, right? On both sides. There's no direction here. Price can't get past this level right here, right? We have a higher high right here, and there you go. Price blasts right through it. And I'm pretty sure this is going to be a fake out, right? Price is going to fake out right here, and then it's going to come right back down. It's basically going to sucker in all the buyers. Not a good area to trade in at all. Yawn indicator going. All right, 7:30. We have 30 minutes till 8. I'm hoping price comes down. So this is kind of what I want to see happen. I want price to come down, give me a V1 pattern down here, and then correct back up. There's no V1 pattern up there anymore, so we're going to take that off. But this would be ideal. Drop down, V1 pattern, climb back up. Yeah, C6 said they're going to push it up now that you've said that. Yeah, I mean, it's really close to the all-time high. This red line right here is all-time high, guys. The highest price has been for YM ever. You guys can see, like, what I'm looking for here is a fake out. I think a fake out here will happen. I don't think price will actually come up to the all-time high. I think this is going to fake out and come back down, or it's just going to keep churning. I think it's going to keep churning until more people get into the market. And then eventually it's going to either push up or push down. You can see how it's inching so close. It's just manipulating. It's getting close enough so that people will hop into it or hop in for a sell. And there you go, all-time high. So we got a new all-time high here. I would be very careful. I wouldn't chase this. Now you can see a lot of people are starting to piggyback onto this all-time high push. And I wouldn't be surprised if price comes right back down. So you can see right here, starting to lose its steam. Just looking at the wicks here, you can kind of tell if price is going to come back down or not. If you get a big wick on top, it's probably going to come back down. Or if you get a big red candle, it's probably going to come right back down. So I think like a V1 pattern from up here would be ideal. If you got a V1 pattern from up here, it's probably going to come crashing right back down to down here. So, I mean, it's pretty easy to look at. Just look at the wicks, right? Look at how the wicks move in there, and then see if you have either a strong red candle. Yeah, C6 said people chasing just looking to lose money if they don't take profit. Yeah, like if I was to chase this, I would try to get out as soon as possible, right? If I got a buy right here at the all-time high, I would try to get out as soon as possible because it's just a matter of time until it comes back down. It can't keep pushing up forever. Especially at this point, the price is kind of overextended. If you measure it from this lower low right here, price is up 100 points already. So it's up without like about 1,000 pips, 100 points. It's pretty high. Yeah, I think this is a both side yawned on a live session in a while. It's really bored. Really bored with this sparky movement. Yeah, exactly. Van Harwick said what comes up needs to come down. It's going to come down eventually. I'm just hoping it comes down far enough so that we can get that correction back to the upside. Let's see. There's another momentum pullback scalp right here, guys. I don't know if anybody caught it. Price pushed up. There's a buy signal pushed up. Red candle retraced down. Entry would have happened right here at the 20 or the 80 level. And that would have been a momentum pullback scalp for anyone who is looking to take that there, of course. All right, so price is now above the 4-hour resistance level. New all-time high. There goes the liquidity above, got hit too at the all-time high. Yeah, Kenny said he tried to catch it. He was trying to catch it, but it was too fast. Yeah. Just a little too fast, which is fine. Nice. CT said it took the most, posted profits, and he's done. So let's see what CT did for the day. All right, so we got Narith over here, total profit of 1,380 for the day, all wins. Nice work, Narith. We have Johnny over here. Johnny said done as well for his second payout Tuesday, done trading as well. So Johnny over here made a total profit of 7,119. Nice work, Johnny. Johnny corrected up. So look at this right here. Johnny almost blew his funded account. He came down. He was in like negative 7K, climbed his way right back up, and then made profit. So there goes his second payout right there. So Johnny, 2 back-to-back payouts. You know, he's doing what majority of people can never do, right? Getting a second payout. So he got his first payout a couple weeks ago. Now his second payout, 7,000 right here. Nice work, Johnny. So Johnny over here made 7,111 times 80% payout. He made 5,688. Killing it, Johnny. Great work right there. Johnny locked in 496 today. So Johnny locked in 5,688. That's basically in like 1 week of trading because you had to basically recoup this. So you basically would have made more, Johnny. You would have been up like maybe like 17,000, but you were in drawdown so much that you had to make your way back. So just doing the math here, if Johnny, like compared to working, so 5,688, his payout after the cut, we'll divide that by, let's see, 40 hours a week, right? So you basically made 142 an hour. I'm pretty sure this is way more than what you make at your day job, right? So if you can keep doing this, Johnny, every single week, consistently just making profit, you're going to be able to leave your job pretty soon, right? Or you're going to be able to cover whatever expenses you need to take care of, whatever you need to take care of. So keep it up, Johnny. Johnny's like a clear example. If you guys haven't talked to Johnny, he's the Green Ranger over here. That was at my Halloween party the other year. Johnny, he came to trading with like no experience. Like Johnny has like no experience from trading at all. He's been trading for like less than a year. Obviously he has ups and downs, but now he's getting paid out every single 2 weeks. So yeah, if you guys need some motivation, probably just follow Johnny on social media, right? Because Johnny's posting motivational stuff every single day. If you want to be motivated, follow Johnny on social media. He's posting motivational posts every single day, and he finally got the trading stuff down. So definitely nice for Johnny. I know it's just the beginning. So that's pretty nice. Getting 5,000 or like up to 10,000 every 2 weeks in payouts. I mean, that's pretty solid. I'd be super happy with that. I mean, I was happy when I was at that point, and I think that's pretty good because if you think about it, so if you make, let's say, so we'll keep it conservative, right? Like 7,000 every 2 weeks times two, that's 14,000 a month. This is just one FTMO account. So 14,000 a month times 12, that's 168,000 in just trading for an hour a day. And that's just one account. You multiply that by like 4 accounts, you'll be making up to like 600,000. The numbers just go up from there. So just keep that in mind. All right, so we have a V1 pattern right here setting up, guys. At the all-time high, I was kind of hoping we wouldn't get one up here, but we have one, so I'm gonna draw it up. And let's see. So we got a V1 pattern here setting up. It's a little too high. I don't really want to trade at the all-time high, but I'll see if we get something here. So we have a V1 pattern. I'll probably look for price to push up a little bit, retrace back down, and come back up. Yeah, there's no pending buy signal. So this wouldn't be an entry on its own. This is just a V1 pattern, Kevin, that we're looking for to start it off. Because this is the first V1 pattern, we need to look for the second one. So we'll look for price to push up, come back down, and then provide a double bottom here. So we're going to hope to get that sell signal on its way back down over here. All right, price pushes up, comes down, sell signal, another V1 pattern, correction back up. So that is what we're going to be looking for right here. So here goes Johnny's profits on Apex. Johnny's also now on Apex. Damn, Johnny's killing it. So Johnny over here has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 times 500, he locked in 5,000 for the day. Nice work right there, Johnny. So he locked in 5,000 on his Apex, getting his payout on his FTMO, and more from there. Here's Eunice. Eunice locked in a total profit of 835 for the day. Nice work, Eunice. Solid work there. We have CT here, total profit of 1,215 per account. Is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, about 11,000 for the day. Nice work, CT. And we have Drew over here with a total profit of 4,300, all wins across his Apex. Great work, Drew. All right, so there's no entries here for us just yet, guys. We're still looking for something here to come up, but at the moment, there's nothing for us to take here. Johnny's asking, I was wondering, how do we file taxes on making this money on trading? Do I open an LLC? So that would probably be your best option, Johnny. Your best option is to open a company. I guess we can talk about this like more privately. But I'll just give you the basic rundown. You're in California, so you're basically going to do exactly what I'm doing. You would just go to the California State Secretary website. Okay, so there's no entry right here. I'll just show you real quick. All right, so what you want to do, Johnny, is you want to go to Google, search up CASOS business search. This is gonna pull up the business entity website. You go to business search here, and then you'll start your own company here. So you'll do everything on this website, basically. This is where you can start up your company. And then we'll talk about that stuff more in detail later. Like you'll start an LLC, and then there's going to be levels to it. So you'll start an LLC, and then you'll tax that as an S corp, and then that's when you can start paying yourself a salary. But yeah, basically, I mean, if you want to get started on it, Johnny, just go to the California state website. Well, actually, don't do all that stuff yet. We'll talk first because we got to go over some details. But if you want to look into it, just pull up or just Google like how to start a business in California. Yeah, no, exactly. We'll go to dinner and we'll talk about it. It's not really complicated. I think when you open your first business, it's kind of confusing. But once you open like your second and third business, like I already have like 4 businesses. It's really simple. It's just an online form, and then you just have to get a couple other things, and then get your business credit card going and business like everything's kind of separate. But yeah, no, I'm excited for you, Johnny, because now that you're going to open up a business, or you're going to be trading like business, you're going to have like a lot of opportunities going to open for you, Johnny. Like a lot, especially if you're doing consistent with your payouts. Yeah, I'll give you all the details. A lot of stuff to help with your family and your mom and stuff too. So it's going to be super, super beneficial for not just you, but it's going to be beneficial for like your whole family. All right, guys. So there's no other entries here for us right now. We're still looking for something here to come up. There is we have the V1 pattern right here, but we need price to come back down. So this is pretty much the pattern that we were looking for. We have price up here. I'm looking for price to come back down, provide a rejection off the structure for a double bottom. If I can get this right here, this will be pretty solid. I'm gonna look for price to push up from there. That's one of the scenarios. The other scenario is price comes back down, and then we have another V1 pattern, and then correction up. It's just in a tricky area because it's at the all-time high. I wouldn't recommend chasing this. If you guys are looking to chase this up to the upside, I mean, this is pretty much, price has never been up here, so it can turn around at any second. See if there's anything else here for me to look at. There's no other news for today. The news is at 10 o'clock, but it's low impact. Fundamentals are obviously up right now, up 133 points. The sentiment over here is also very bullish. All right, so this thing here is C6 said, keep in mind with Apex, if you purchase the challenge, it needs to be passed on the LLC to get paid through the LLC. Gotcha. Yeah, so that's another thing right there too that CSUK mentioned. You know, the thing with Apex is that they're regulated here in the US. So like you kind of want to be, very clear about like how you're getting paid out. With FTMO, it was different because they don't give you tax forms. So you do your own tax, your tax situation. So it's a little different with FTMO, Johnny, because you can pay it out. So you can just get the payouts deposited to your bank account, which would be your business bank account. But then again, that's another story. That's another story. Because they're kind of strict about what type of business you open with certain banks. All right, guys. So price is kind of just bouncing around this area. There's not really too much going on. If there's any questions that you guys have, feel free to put them in the chat. There's not really much going on here. So unfortunately, I don't think there's going to be any entries for us here. It's been like this pretty much all week. You guys can see the market is starting to move a bit crazy right here on this specific candle because it's at the all-time high. You're going to get a lot of very high manipulation around this area. And this isn't really the area where you want to be caught in, because the last thing you want to do is take a trade, and then as soon as you enter the trade, it goes up a little bit and it spikes down, right? Or vice versa, you take a trade for a sell and it spikes right back up. Because that's probably what's going to happen here. This is an area where a lot of manipulation will happen because people are going to be betting on the tops now, right? Before people were trying to bet on the bottoms. Now people are betting on the tops because everyone's just kind of waiting for this to drop. It's going to drop eventually. It can't just keep climbing up forever, especially with this overextension. Like if you were to measure from this lower low right here, let's see, from this lower low right here to this point, price is pushed up 163 points. This is over 100. This is like about 1,600 pips if you're trading indices. It's overextended for sure. You know, I think the overextension mark would happen right here at the 150 mark. And right here is another double top, or sorry, not a double top, a double body. And this might be the reversal pattern for price to come right back down. I'll keep looking for another entry, but at the moment right now, there's just nothing for us to take. But again, this right here is kind of we might see happening. I mean, maybe we'll get a trade at the very last minute. I mean, who knows? This is kind of what happened with Nick the other day. Remember Nick? Is Nick still here? Yeah. So Nick was like, he called out a trade to happen right at 8 o'clock. And we literally took it at 8 o'clock and I realized it was too late. So I ended up pulling out for a small profit, but it did hit full TP. It was that partial move that we looked at. Cece said, yeah, Kevin said, from what he's read, you just open it up with your challenge with your business. Yeah, I don't remember putting that in my information when I signed up to Apex, but I could be wrong. I mean, I could have just forgotten about it. Okay, let me see. I'm gonna see if I could open. Let me log into my Apex real quick. I mean, it doesn't really matter, guys. It's not a big deal if you get paid out to your business account because you can still have it deposited into your business account. You'll just classify the profits differently. So I don't think it's like a huge problem that you because I don't even think I signed mine up as a business. I can't even remember. Gotcha. Thanks, Nikki. Yeah, Nikki said just look at the frequently asked questions. That's probably where everyone should want to begin with, but okay. Yeah, it's probably the FAQs on Apex, they have like literally everything there. Gotcha, I see it right here. Okay, so this I see it right here. Okay, so it says, can I set up an LLC and trade them out of that? You can provide whatever name ID you want. This can include an LLC, but you must sign up the evaluation with the LLC for the funded account to be under the LLC. Be aware that if it is considered if it is considered a professional trader, there are more fees associated with this. Most are not. Yeah. So you technically can, but you don't really need to. Like, um, I mean, there's ways around it, guys. So don't worry. If you guys didn't register as an LLC, I don't even think I did. I don't remember ever doing that. Let me see. Let me just try to like pretend to open another account to see. I don't remember ever seeing that option on there. Okay, gosh, yeah. So Patricia said when you sign your PA contract, put your name and business on it to be safe. Yeah, exactly. So I think with the evaluation, it's not a big deal. I think it just matters more when when you sign the PA contract. Because I'm looking over here at like I'm just pretending to open a new account. I'm just gonna pretend to open another account, see if there's I don't even remember see the option here. Yeah, it doesn't have the option here for it because it says, I mean, like it says cardholder's name. You obviously wouldn't put the LLC there. It wouldn't matter because I was paying through my LLC credit card. Yeah, I mean, it's all good, guys. We'll get to that once we cross that bridge, right? We're not there yet, so. But if you guys do get like end up in a situation like that, there's a way around it. Like the loophole to that is you'll just pay the payout to yourself, and then you'll pay that payout from yourself to the business. So you'll just deposit it into your personal account, and then I think that the main problem with that is that they just don't want to be depositing money into a random account, right? When you get your payouts, they don't want to be transferring like a wire to account that doesn't align with whatever you registered as. So. There's ways around it. I mean, you can just pay to yourself. Like you'll just have the payout wired to you personally, and then you'll transfer those funds from you to your business bank account, and you'll note it as payment for service. There's always a way around it. So don't worry about it too much, guys. There's a there's always a way around it. There's always a way around everything here in the US. Let's see. Ender said, so you have to have a business LLC to get a payout. No, you can get a payout normally, Ender. That's just if you want to be paid out through the business. So yeah, because I didn't even have that option on my thing when signing up. I knew if that was an option there, I would have seen it for sure. Yeah, I'll just show you guys real quick. There's no entries for us here anyways. Or actually, let me see. One second, guys. There may be a V1 pattern right here. Actually, no, it's not going to be a double body or a double wick. Okay, but here's the thing. So if you sign up to Apex right here, right? Say for example, I'm signing up for a new account, whatever it may be. I'm signing up for a new 150K account. You'll put your credit card info right there, my name or whatever, the code, say 50. So I'm just going to show you guys that there's like, I don't see an option here for that. So say I'm opening a new account right here, it'll ask me my cardholder's name, but there's no way to put your business here, right? So I never had that option. If I need to switch it at some point, I'll just tell them like I didn't have the option here, and then they'll change the information. But yeah, I just wanted to show you guys that I didn't even myself I didn't see that option there because if I saw the option, I would have put the business name. Yeah, there's no need to get too ahead of yourself, but it doesn't really matter when you're getting paid out. It just doesn't matter. You can still pay it to your business. You just can't, they don't want to send the money to a random business account or checking account. All right, so we have a V1 pattern right here, guys. Double wick. And then we will see where this goes from here. Yeah, exactly. Next, you're just re-subcontracting yourself, pretty much. So there goes a V1 pattern right there. Nice Rashida caught it. This here could set up for another V1 pattern or it could set up for a breakout V3 continuation. So let's see, we got a couple minutes here till 8. As it gets closer to 8, I'm gonna cut out. ATR is currently 13, so we're probably not gonna get anything here, but we'll still follow it just in case. But you guys can see the volatility here is pretty much down. It's very, very slow. We'll see where this goes. Adu said, is that because you have to create an Apex account under your business? No. So if you look at the FAQs, what I just looked at, Madhu, it said that you can sign up with whatever name or whatever, profile you want. But then when you sign up for an eval, you're supposed to sign up with an LLC. The only problem is that FAQ, I don't know if you guys saw the FAQs from 2021. We're in 2024, so they probably changed it and it's not a criteria anymore. It just wouldn't make sense for them to have that there because I'm pretty sure I think in 2021, they expected people to to pass right away. And I guess they realized over like, 3 or 4 years, like, maybe people aren't going to pass the challenges so quickly. So they don't even bother to ask for the LLC at the beginning. So yeah, that's another thing that you guys want to keep in mind. If you look at the Apex FAQs, so here's FAQ. If you type in LLC, that post is from 2021, guys. It's an old post. So I don't think that it's not even an option anymore. So that's from 2021. We're in 2024, guys. It's been 3 years since they posted that. So I'm pretty sure that things have changed since then. I think you do mention your LLC once you have a PA account. I don't think it's for the eval side anymore because I just pulled up the eval and it didn't even show up on mine. So, all right, we have another V1 pattern right here, guys. It's at 7:58, so it's getting really close to 8 o'clock. We have a pending buy signal right here. And we'll see if there may be an entry here. It's cutting it really close to 8 o'clock, so I'm not sure if I'll be taking this trade or not, but we'll see as we get closer to this here. I just got to see how it closes. If this here closes with the green candle, with the buy signal, then I'll see how it moves on the next candle, but the volatility is just kind of low right now. So if this here doesn't close with the green candle, we're going to wrap this up. If there's any other questions that you guys have, feel free to put them in the chat. Otherwise, we'll be closing out this week with some profits. So this week was not a great week, but we still made some pretty good trades. So I'll just see if this candle closes with the buy signal. If it doesn't, obviously no entry. It's not looking like it. All right, so there's no entry there. What I'm going to do here is I'm just going to update the spreadsheet for the week and the month. So we had a couple of trades this week. Let's see. Let's scroll over here real quick. Official profits. So we have some more profits over here from Andreas. Total profit of 400 for the day. Nice work, Andreas. Solid profits right there. Looking over here at let's see. So the official trades over here for this week. So this week started on, I think we only had like 2 trades for the day for this week. So this over here was a V1 variation. This was on the 22nd at 7:07. This here is for a buy. Buy when variation V1. See, we had another trade over here. It was a breakout V3, 1020 or 123 at 805. This was for a sell. I think that was breakout V3. Then we had another breakout V3 on the 25th, yesterday, 25th at 7:15. And that was for a buy, 1 trade, breakout V3. All right, so we had 3 wins for this week, guys. Adding up all of our profits for the month so far, we currently have, I think this is right. All right, so we have 12 wins, 1 loss, total profit of 90 points, which is 900 pips, total trades of 13 trades, win-loss ratio of 92.3%. So we have a pretty good win-loss ratio for the year so far and for the month. We had a good mix between buys and sells, 12 wins, 1 loss. Pretty solid. So, for the mentoring incubator guys for the next 3 months, February and up until May, this is kind of how I want to see everybody's charts, everybody's journal to look like, right? I want you guys to have a high win rate, lots of wins. I want your wins to outweigh the losses. Losses are going to happen, so you're just going to eat it and move on with it. But for the most part, this is pretty much the situation. that we're looking for. Um, yeah, I mean, other than that, that's pretty much it. Oh yeah, Kevin said RIP to Kobe. Is today the day he passed? Let's see. Yeah, it's today. It's crazy. Yeah, that's nuts. RIP to Kobe. But all right, guys. So if there's any other questions that you guys have, feel free to put them in the chat. There's no entries for us to take here, unfortunately. So it's just one of those days where we just don't have entries, as I mentioned. So looking at our results from this week so far, there was 3 trades this week, right? There's going to be some weeks where you're going to have 3 trades. There's going to be some weeks where you have 5 trades. There's going to be some weeks where you have 10 trades, right? It's not always going to be the same, but if you can do the consistency here, so about like 12 wins for the month so far, or 90 points. Like if you can do it consistently, like 90 points every I mean, we're not even done with the month yet. So we'll say, like, for example, you do like 16 wins for a month, right? Times 500. That's going to be whatever the profit would be. It'd be like 8,000. That's like for one account on Apex, for one 150K account. If you do that, and this is just one account, I'm gonna show you guys the power of compounding and adding this up. So like 8,000 for a month times 12, you can make close to 100K just taking one trade a day on one account. Now, if you have like 10 accounts like Maddie, you multiply this by 10, you'll have like 960,000, right? Because you're not just gonna have one Apex account. We'll be realistic here. You're not gonna have one Apex account. You're gonna have maybe like 5. So like, 8,000 times 5, you'll probably make like 40,000 in a month. If you have 5 Apex accounts and you just take 16 trades within that time period. So that's my goal. My goal is to get you guys on this level where you'll have a high win rate. You'll have, very good profitable every single month. And then by the end of the year, you're going to add it all up and you're gonna be like, damn, I actually did that. So just, just keep that in mind. So, all right, guys, I don't see any other questions here. It looks like we're going to wrap this up. If there's anything else that you guys need to ask, feel free to reach out. You guys can email me, Sean@KodiKaiTrades.com, or you can message me on Discord. Discord would probably be the easiest way to get in contact with me because I'm always on here. But I think that's about it. So, all right, guys, if there's any other questions that you guys have, feel free to reach out. Sorry, one second. CT says that is, so there is a V1 here that is starting to set up. If anybody wants to take it, I mean, be my guest if you guys want to. We'll see here how this plays through, because this is going to be a V1 variation pattern right here. If it closes. All right, so we got that V1 pattern right there. I don't know if anybody decided to take it. So yeah, CT was asking if that was a V1 zone. So there's one right there, V1 variation, and then one to follow right here, right next to each other. Is the market moving? It looks like it's like dead right now. It's like flat, like completely flat. So yeah, if anybody decided to take that trade there goes the entry. It's probably just gonna go sideways for a bit before it ends up, doing anything, but I'll leave it at that. So, all right, guys, if you guys have any other questions, feel free to reach out. Otherwise, I will see you guys back here on Monday for Market Open. Again, today's the last day to fill out your application for the mentorship. So if you guys want to fill out that app, go ahead and go to the Discord, go to the announcements channel, and the link will be right there. So, all right, guys, if you guys have any questions, reach out. Otherwise, I'll see you guys back here on Monday, and I'll see you guys then.